Well, and today the topic is actually abiding power. Those two things.
And I'm very interested to hear what you have to say about that, Sharice.
Well, I mean, we're going to talk about it together, but I think first we can break down what abiding means, because part of making these choices, I think if our choices are rooted in what is abiding, then we can make good choices. And
that's a great way to start 2021.
Yes, I would agree. The Merriam-Webster dictionary defines abiding. It says to remain stable or fixed in a state, a love that abided with him all of his days. The second part of the definition is to continue in a place. And an old definition of abiding, according to vocabulary.com, is to live.
To live.
To live. And so here's the deal. As you mentioned Ecclesiastes, and we didn't even read through all of it, but I love Ecclesiastes. I love what Solomon says in that. And the fact that we are in different seasons. We need to discern the season that we're in right now.
Yes, and each person needs to for themselves.
Absolutely. But through that, there's something in the center. There's an abiding place in the middle that doesn't change. We can change. We can make decisions, and we do need to make decisions about change. But there is also a constant through that doesn't change. That's a place that I'm kind of reading through some devotionals and writing right now, and I call that the place of staying.
Staying.
I call it the place of staying. And for me, abiding is staying. And it doesn't mean to stay fixed in your stubborn ways. It doesn't mean to stay fixated on your pain. It doesn't mean to stay in bad habits. But for me, it means to stay in a consistent place, knowing that what we're really abiding in is the life of Christ. So I wrote, when I am called to stay, there is something I must pray. God be the way when circumstances begin to decay, when my life feels mundane at best, and I sleep but find no rest. You are the God over the stay, even when my spirit wants to run away. Right. And how many people that are suffering right now? How many people sleep but they don't find rest? How many people are in a place where their spirit wants to run away? And the truth is, I think if we connect into that abiding place for 2021, into that abiding, staying place, we're going to find that second word that you've defined through this podcast, which is power.
Power. Because when you abide, there is power. Mm-hmm. And for me, it goes back straight to Scripture. Okay? I can either rely on what the world says about power. In other words, the influence we have on others, the impact we might have on a community. I wrote down a few different things in my notes. This inside-out aspect of influence and clarity, that can all be part of power in an organization or anything that you're doing. But when you're in chronic pain, and a lot of people have gone through some very difficult things in 2020. Mm-hmm. I mean, 80% of restaurants here in Colorado Springs, if they don't have relief soon and they're not out of lockdown, they're never opening again. Those are people's lives that are damaged, not just from fear or the realization of COVID or political decisions, but they were forced to give up their lifestyles.
Yes, they did nothing to deserve it.
Nothing.
And so it's critical that we understand that the power doesn't come from the outside in.
Right. It comes from the inside out. And what I would say to those people is, we are sorry for your pain.
Absolutely.
Because when you hurt, we hurt.